safety. Now we are at the fourth layer of the deck. So the main deck is actually the major operating platform. So maybe we can go down there to have a closer look. Actually, the specialty for this vessel is that it has a lot of equipment. So for this kind of research vessel, it's quite different from a regular vessel. So let's take a look on the equipment on this vessel. Let's see what are the highlights of these vessels. So maybe you can start with this equipment. So this one is a drilling platform. This was self-developed by China, and it is a lifting drilling. The height is around 24 meters. So it can drilling as deep as 600 meters. And also we can go deep as far as 400 meters below the stratum. This is quite advanced equipment. Currently, we have done 2 pilot work in South China Sea by this lifting drilling system. So the deep is around like 270 meters for the depth. So for this lifting drilling system is quite safe. Does that mean if you deep further so that you can ensure that the precision of our scientific survey? That's correct, because we can get samples from the deep water. And then we can get better knowledge about what's happening under the deep water. So how you operate this kind of systems of some of the mineral resources? And actually, these are some of the sediments from the underwater. Can you tell us the story how you get this sample out of the underwater? As you can see, the size is quite big for this sample, and it is as heavy as 1 ton. It takes us a long time to get this sample out of the water. It takes us about like 10 hours to get it. For the gripping equipment, it has to operate under very stable condition. As this sample is quite hard, we try many times in order to get this sample. So let's take a look at this one. This is the electric grinder. So first of all, it can collect the samples from undersea, and also we have some cameras and the sensors. So as this equipment go down into the sea and 1 to 2 meters below the sea level, you can have a closer look from the situation underwater. Maybe you can take a look on the footage on the right side. Actually, you can see some of the debris from the biology underseas. For example, you can see some of the form of shells inside of the water. If it is in white, meaning that for the biology, it has already gone dead. However, the color is brown, meaning that we can see some living fossils inside of the water. And sometimes you can also see some of the living fossil, like shrimps and fishes. And also you can see some form of crab. It's quite similar from what you can see in daily life. However, all of these living creatures are actually below the sea level. This is quite precious for us to understand their living conditions underseas. And I also realized some of the area you can see the shape of the bubble. What's that? For the sediments, sometimes there is gas below the sediment. So when the sediments are releasing some of the bubbles and the gas, actually it remains on the sample. Can you tell us the procedure of the formation of that kind of bubble? Well, as I have just mentioned, because of the change of the temperature and some of the sea level, so some of the gas and the bubble are actually rising up to the sea level, and it also remains on the surface of our rock, of our samples. And also you mentioned that there are many debris inside of the water, right? That's right, because for some of the living creatures, they have to depend on some of the energy to live. Because of some of the geological change, some of the creatures may go dead. And also we have this grip. It helps us to better understand what's happening underwater. Yes, because we have equipped this one with some of the cameras, so we can understand the situation inside of the water. And also, it can conduct a targeted grasping of some of the samples that we need. We have other sampling machines and sampling equipments. So for this one, it can also grab some of the sediments, especially a mud-shaped sediments from the water. We have this sample, this one. Actually, for this one, it can actually grab some of the core of the rock. This one is a water purifier. We call it CTD. It can monitor the level of salt and also the temperature underwater. All of these data are very important for us for scientific research. Can you give us some demonstration for this equipment? Before it goes down to the water, we have to open this equipment. We have some indicators. When we add enough materials inside of this bottle, so that the bottle will be closed automatically, and that we can get some of the water sample from underseas. And we will do some chemical research to understand the situation of the water. Sometimes we have to consider our scientific requirements. And I realized a very large rack behind of the deck. We call it A-shaped rack. As you can see, it is in the shape of the character A, and also we see a wheel in between of this A rack. This rack will be connected to our equipment, and also we have a winch beside of it. So this A rack will work together with the winch and connect all the equipment so that we can unfold some of the equipment on the deck for operation. Sometimes we can send out instructions from the operating room, and we connected all of these equipment through cables so that we can make sure that all of these equipments are connected safely. So this is the operating system, the winch, as well as the A-rack. And I also realized there is a large container here. What's that? This is a seismic wave detector. Well, that's different from what we called earthquake. For this one, we're actually detecting the seismic wave. It is an artificial seismic wave. For us, we will send out the seismic signal underwater. The signal will be transmitted back to the vessel, and also the speed of the seismic wave will be changed. When we receive the signal from the underwater, we will understand the movement of the stratum underwater. So for this seismic wave detection system can help us to understand the geological condition underwater. So sometimes when you navigate to certain points, probably you have to position the boat and also have a fixation of this vessel. How you do that? Well, we have a very advanced dynamic positioning system. So the captain will lead the crew members to control the dynamic positioning system. There were 3 levels of dynamic positioning, and for this vessel, we have the DP2 dynamic positioning. It is quite advanced. Maybe later, the captain will give you more information about that. Now, I would like to take you to the lab. Yes, sometimes when we get samples from underwater, we will have some analysis in our laboratory. So this is the captain. Well, I will take a look to the laboratory first, and then I will go back to the deck. operating room. So some of the scientists and the crew members are working together in the operating room, and also we have a monitoring room. So sometimes for the navigation, it takes around 3 to 4 months. So how do you get the vegetables? So for this project, it lasts for around like 3 months. We will make sure that we have enough food, and we stock all of these inside of the vessel. And sometimes probably we will dock, and also we can get some of the daily necessities from other cities. And also we have the anti-fire and the anti-piracy system. So each month we will also have a emergency drill to make sure that we can deal with all of the emergencies properly. For example, we will have some like anti-piracy emergency. This is actually the requirement from the authorities, the DAC.